The Spanish Conquest of the Philippines, Cultural and Political Mismanagement. The Conquest of the Philippines, by the Spanish, a cultural and political mismanagement, leading to centuries of conflict. The Spanish conquest of the Philippines, initiated in 1565 under the leadership of Miguel López de Legazpi, represents a complex chapter in colonial history marked by cultural mismanagement and political oversight. While Spain sought to expand its empire and spread Christianity, the methods employed during the conquest often disregarded the rich cultural tapestry and political structures of the indigenous populations, leading to lasting conflicts that would resonate for centuries. The initial contact with the Philippines occurred during Ferdinand Magellan's expedition in 1521, when he arrived on the island of Homonhon. This marked the beginning of European interest in the archipelago, but it was not until López de Legazpi's arrival that significant colonization efforts commenced. Upon landing in Cebu in 1565, Legazpi established the first Spanish settlement, marking the start of a colonial enterprise that aimed to integrate the islands into the Spanish Empire. One of the critical errors made by the Spanish was their failure to recognize and respect the existing social and political systems among the various indigenous groups. The Philippines was not a monolithic entity, but rather a collection of diverse cultures and chiefdoms, each with its own governance structures. The Spanish often employed a strategy of divide and conquer, manipulating local rivalries to establish control. This approach fostered resentment and resistance among indigenous populations who felt their autonomy was being undermined. The introduction of Christianity was another significant aspect of Spanish colonial policy. While missionaries aimed to convert indigenous peoples, they often did so without understanding or integrating local beliefs and customs. This led to tensions as traditional practices were suppressed or deemed incompatible with Christian doctrine. The economic policies enacted by the Spanish also contributed to discontent. The colonial administration prioritized resource extraction for Spain's benefit, often at the expense of local economies. The establishment of encomiendas, land grants that allowed Spanish settlers to collect tribute from indigenous people, exacerbated social inequalities and fueled resentment among those who felt exploited. As resistance grew, various uprisings occurred throughout the colonial period, reflecting deep-seated grievances against Spanish rule. Notable revolts included the Dagohoy Rebellion, 1744 to 1829, which lasted for nearly a century, and the Philippine Revolution, 1896 to 1898, which sought independence from colonial rule. These movements highlighted the enduring impact of Spanish mismanagement and cultural insensitivity. The culmination of these tensions led to significant changes in governance after Spain ceded control of the Philippines to the United States following the Spanish-American War in 1898. The Treaty of Paris marked a new chapter for the archipelago, but did not resolve underlying issues stemming from centuries of colonial rule. In retrospect, the conquest of the Philippines serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of cultural arrogance and political mismanagement in colonial endeavors. It underscores how ignoring local contexts can lead to long-term conflict and instability. As we reflect on this historical episode, we are left with important questions. What lessons can be learned about cultural sensitivity in governance? How do historical grievances shape contemporary national identities?